Welcome back, everyone, for our final best of two here for Game Changers. It has been a fun day so far. We are almost at the end, but not before we see Serenity for one final time today. They were our first team to play today, and they will be our last alongside Arcana, who will be our team that we just saw actually splitting 1-1 against the Astro Cats in a very dramatic second game. I'm still Pastry Time, that's still Camcom. And it's been a good bit first day, kind of easing into Game Changers here for the next month of games.
That game 4 was definitely the most explosive, I think, that we've had all day, and I mean, that's what we're here for. Luckily that wasn't game 1. If that was game 1, I would have been a little bit more worried, but that was game 4, so we had some time to work our way up to the explosiveness that it was, and Astro Cats have now left us to go and VOD review the first 4 games of Game Changers. We will get to see them once again, of course, next weekend for their next 2 best of 2s, and Arcana versus Serenity for the final matchup of the day. Just in case you forgot, Arcana, the team that we just watched go 1-1, does have Aquatic in the top lane, MP as the jungler and the person that you just saw interviewed, Ayukura in the mid lane, Ryle as your AD carry, and Shirley in support.
And on the other side, of course, it is Serenity, who we should refresh you on, because we haven't seen them until the top of the day. So if you're just joining us, they might be a new team. It is Shisept in the top side, Shapeshift in the jungle, Miss Timo in mid, Yumichi in bottom lane, and their support, Heloisia. It's been... haven't won a game yet for the Serenity side, but again, plenty of time left to play. Not just this week, but of course next weekend as well. There are plenty of games to play, plenty of games to review, and plenty of games to show off to you. Unfortunately for today, these will be our final 2 games. We'll have a look at what the draft has in store for us, because we're already into it. Serenity kicking off on the blue side.
Yep, I was just about to say that Serenity did have side select for this final match of the day, and they did pick blue side, as I mentioned earlier. You also mentioned as well, we have plenty of returning members from the previous year of Game Changers on Serenity squad. Shisept in the top lane is returning to us from the year 2021, and both Shapeshift and Yumichi returning from both 21 and 2022, so they do have plenty of competitive experience, definitely between the 3 of them, Shapeshift and Heloisia. Nope, not Shapeshift, Miss Timo, and Heloisia being our 2 newest members on the Serenity squad.
Not looking out of place, though, of course, as these teams have all really come together very quickly. We've talked about it a lot, but this program is not very long. It's about 3 months long. The first month is basically everyone gets to know each other, figures out what the teams are going to be, tryouts, and then the teams have been together for a month for branding, practice, and all the different workshops, and now we're playing for a month. And on the September 23rd, we'll have a nice double best of 3 LAN to showcase these teams and also show which team is the best of this iteration of the program. Before we get there, though, we are going to touch on some draft picks real quick, or draft bans, I should say, because Akali's been taken away. Again, that has been a consistent ban away from Ayukura. LeBlanc also going to get banned away, a pretty consistent mid lane ban so far. Fairy Girl ate that ban, I believe, twice in Serenity's last series as well. And Rel is just a champion who's going to permanently stay in this ban spot as long as Heloisia is in the game.
Once again, Heloisia being the rank 1 Rel NA. So, to nobody's surprise, Rel will be banned. Rel is, though, also a really strong meta pick because she is flex between jungle and support, surprisingly enough, in the current meta. So, she's just going to be banned. I think even in the previous series, without Heloisia even being there, she was still banned every single game. And once again, Xayah as well. Xayah and or Kai'Sa and or Rakan is probably very high on the ban list for all of these teams.
Jarvan also has been a pretty popular ban. We saw that from MP in our last series. Looked very good on that champion. So we'll see. He's going to be taken away here once more. And then Jax, a pretty consistent ban. I think against Shisept, but also just in general. There's lots of different top laners you can kind of play, but Jax maybe among the better ones here. Certainly if players are more comfortable on that champion. Not a champion you want to give away, but that does leave Kai'Sa open, doesn't it?
It does. And correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first Kai'Sa we've had all day.
Correct.
I thought that there would be a lot more Kai'Sa presence, but no.
It's been banned a lot.
It has been banned a lot, that is fair, but Kai'Sa as the B1 here for Serenity for the first time, game number 5 here on the first day of Game Changers, and I guess Renekton has been played a lot in scrims and solo queue recently. Renekton has been a very high prio pick in the back half of games today, as well as that Maokai.
Can't go wrong with Renekton, it feels like, in a lot of cases. Pretty safe blind, kind of does the same thing in almost every comp, so generally a good pick to have, especially if you're, feeling out your opponent. It's kind of good to, put him to the test with Renekton, because Renekton certainly will test how you function in a 1v1 and how you know how to play against the champion. Mark, as you mentioned, the other one there, likely the jungle for MP, who has consistently been playing more supportive, more like gank heavy junglers, more crowd control junglers. But Miss Teemo is going to get Azir again. Not only a great pick for her and a signature pick, but also just a generally good meta mage.
Absolutely. Once again, earlier in the day, we did get to see Serenity, Miss Teemo, Miss Teemo on Serenity even play that Azir, and it is her most comfortable champion, as we have heard. But that is going to be a little bit of a counter pick. I'm pretty sure Sylas is one of the main counter picks actually to Azir. It could still be flexed. Sylas is still technically viable in top jungle and mid, but I would say most likely it is going to be Ayukura on the Sylas mid lane.
Yep, correct on all counts there. And I have to guess, even though, yes, correct on all counts, even though I think you're right in thinking that it's most likely going to be jungle as Kayle, just mysteriously appearing before the next phase of bans.
Oh, okay.
We'll find out shortly.
I was even more confused that Kayle was picked than the fact that Kayle was picked in the wrong time.
We have seen a Kayle ban today, so it might be a pick that actually happens. There it is. There's the Kayle ban. I like that. They show it full, so we really know that it's getting banned away. I didn't hate it, honestly.
They caught us a little off guard there. I was not prepared for the R4 Kayle, I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I was definitely prepared for the Twitch ban, as Ryle's going to lose that champion once again. I didn't hate the Yasuo. In fact, Ryle rapidly becoming my favorite player in this event, if only because she played my favorite champion. It's just that easy, honestly. If you want more brownie points, just play Heimerdinger, and I'll love you forever. As it stands, has looked good, has looked aggressive. Certainly a little more off the beaten path as far as like current bot lane champions go. Don't see that much Twitch. Certainly don't see a lot of Yasuo, but cool to see Ryle owning their style, really liking, maybe some different champs and performing very well and very aggressively on them. Bel'Veth, though, getting banned away once again. Apparently nobody wants to play against Bel'Veth. And Milio, a champion that did get some buffs in the patches we have had since this one. We are playing on 13.17, as I've said probably a million times today. Interesting, kind of banning a potential enchanter away from Shirley, who did play Lulu already. Yep, thank you. Thank you for pointing to where the patch is, in case the people at home didn't know.
They didn't believe you. Now they believe you. I haven't gotten to cast Milio personally a whole lot myself. One day I will get to cast Milio, but it is actually going to be not Brand. What's it? Braum.
That's the one.
As the support of choice here for Shirley. Shirley has actually shown, I would say, quite a wide variety of champions picked by her so far here. Braum is definitely one of the more niche nowadays. I mean, he used to be one of the main picks, but I think nowadays he's a lot more of a niche counter pick, whereas he does do really well into fellow engaged champions, such as the Nautilus that was already picked, of course. But if you pick any sort of enchanter into him, then he does have a much more difficult time, as we do have the rounded out top and jungle picked here. Very safety, very classic Lilia Ornn locked in for the shiny top side.
Yeah, the only interesting thing about this, I like these picks in general. I think this rounds out the comp nicely. This comp actually looks really good from a bunch of different ways. Okay, first of all, there's Ryle's Vayne. That's very exciting and very bold once again from this bot laner. But picking on, with Braum already on the board, does have a little bit of like, oh, don't mess it up. Because on alt can be blocked by, on alt can be blocked by Braum ult. That's a bunch of vowels that are very similar sounding, as we did see from Yasuo in the last game. It functions very similarly. But let's throw that out the window because Ryle's picked Vayne. Apparently it's just whatever Ryle wants to play today, she gets to play. I love that for her.
Beautiful. Yes, Ryle is having a fantastic time on all of these different champions. It was Twitch game 1, Yasuo game 2, and now the Vayne for game 3. Now, so far, she has only won one of these games. One of them has been played, though, so it is new series, not a new day. I was about to say new series, new day. Still the same day, actually. Still the same Ryle. You were talking about brownie points for champions if people picked those champions. If you have ever watched me cast before, Bardo. Bardo is my main champion. If you ever pick Bardo, I will immediately be your biggest fan. And second only to that would be Nunu. Do I expect either of those champions to be picked? Absolutely not. But if they do, I will be very happy.
I'm curious because we did. This is a touch off topic. I apologize, everyone. We did have a bit of like classic League of Legends trivia, actually North American League of Legends trivia, right before the break. If you didn't know, MP is an Odd One fan, which the older players watching this will recognize as TSM's jungler. He was actually known for his Nunu. That was one of his it's like one of his signature champions. So Cam, my question is, when did you start playing League?
I started playing it in high school in 2018.
So was that old Nunu or current Nunu? Because
That was current Nunu. I've never seen old Nunu.
there you go. That was my fun fact. Is that we heard today on stream about a player who played a champion that you love that you didn't even know played like that because he was
seen
very
videos
different.
of it, right? But I've never actually seen it in a game myself.
I will say they made Nunu look a lot better. He looks a lot less like a Lego character these days.
This is
looks
Willump,
way more.
in case you're wondering.
Oh.
Willump is my
Adorable.
favorite.
Right next to the duck.
Right next to the Duncan, right next to the Wumpus. Over here is everything that I've made, except for the sun. I made the
Wait, you
ice
made
cream.
those?
Yeah, I made those.
What?
This is my ice cream. I made the Sharky. I actually gave one of these Sharkies to Tenacity, in case you're wondering. I made this, actually I gave 2 of them. I made a penguin, and then this is a work in progress jellyfish. He has a very big head, but no legs right now.
I love that. Also, I love brand new sentence today is definitely work in progress jellyfish. That is not one. When I woke up today, I did not expect to hear that one, but
Doesn't
it's
have
a
any
lovely
legs. He needs legs.
one. Yeah, that's true. Not much of a jellyfish without tendrils. Just a jelly,
We've got
I guess.
a game. Welcome back,
Saved
Summoners
by
Rift,
the
everyone.
game.
Game number 5 of the day, but game number 1 of our final best of 2.
And once again, the squad is moving out. This time it's Serenity looking for the level 1 as Ryle just confidently walking where no one else on her team is to get some information. I believe Serenity was the team that tried a level 1 before. This one actually might bear a bit more fruit. Good flash from MP.
And that is the extent of any level 1 that we have seen so far today. That is single-handedly the most anyone has ever done level 1 so far in a Game Changers 2023 event here. Flash for flash, of course, Aloysia having the Hex Flash does make it worth more for her to flash every single time.
Especially getting a jungler flash. MP, I mean, probably not going to have to use it, but a tool that they maybe would have liked if they look for potentially an early gank, or obviously if there's some sort of invade. Lilia can kind of walk in and harass you. You don't see it too much. Mostly it's just a full clear jungler, but certainly I would take Lilia in the Lilia versus Tree fight early on if it's just a 1v1. Maokai mostly just here for a gank potential and utility. We'll just kind of vibe as your magic damage tank out of the jungle, which sounds like a lot of different words, and kind of is, but hey, that's one of the reasons to pick the champion.
Magic damage tank engage. I'm gonna add engage jungle to that one. Iokar definitely does not want to be going underneath Miss Teemo's tower quite yet, but this is very much a Silas favored matchup levels 1 through 5, and then I think Miss Teemo can definitely take it home level 6 depending on how well the levels 1 through 5 work. But you've seen Iokar just gets all the punish and definitely has much more healing in her kit than that of an Azir in these early few levels.
Yep, makes sense if you kind of look at it. There's really 2 schools of thought when it comes to fighting Azir. One, I mean, it's the same school, it's just different angles. Azir's range is really annoying, and if he free hits you with soldiers, you lose every single trade. So you either want to hit him from so far away that the soldiers can't do anything, or be so close to him that the soldiers can't do anything. You play in mid-range, it's usually a really bad time. And Silas is kind of the opposite of, say, Xerath or Lux that we saw earlier today. Who they're trying to fully outrange the Azir in order to get an advantage. Silas is trying to just get in and then smack before the soldiers can come back and really have an impact. So you're right in your assessment of this being a decent lane for Silas, especially in the levels you mentioned. That is kind of the general theory as to why, if we're wanting to think about how to counterpick Azir.
Now we get to look a little bit at bot lane here. Ryle once again has opted for the Cole start, but I don't think it's going to be a very non-fighting lane. You might look at these champions and think it's going to be a non-fighting lane, but then you look at Ryle and you think, no, probably not. You also see Ryle opted not to take Flash this game. It's a very dangerous game to play as an AD carry without a Flash, but she has actually opted for the Ghost plus Cleanse instead.
Next flash. We're okay-ish for now. Shelly taking some poke, but it's going to be okay. That was quite a lot of damage, but does live to tell the tale. Ryle trades back, gets the lethal tempo proc, does get some damage down, but Shelly may going to have to go home. Instead, we'll just chill out and going to have to play a bit more defensively. Nice little bit of poke there out of the Serenity side.
Empy's just trying to clear their jungle, man. They just want to get their gromp. They're hungry for some gromp dinner. Everybody's hungry for some gromp dinner around here, and just leave them alone, man. But once again, Ryle and Shirley being stuck down there in the 2v3, and Ryle doing her best to at least try to make the 2v3 as even of a health trade as possible. No summoners were burned, of course, other than the Hex Flash, but that's not really a summoner at this point in the game. Mid lane, otherwise very quiet, other than some very heavy poke and trade from Ayukura. Miss Teemo being the first one to actually burn her TP there.
That should be traded off in just a moment whenever Ayukura feels like she has the weight out in a good position and maybe wants to go ahead and take that base. I kind of like what you pointed out though, so actually hold that though, because I think MP might be trying something here in mid, but does have a friend.
Both of them do have friends here. Helosia does land a really nice hook onto MP there, but not a whole lot that they can really do to try and re-engage on Miss Teemo and Heloisia. Will just be the full disengage from both squads here. It's a very, very even early game. I think both teams are playing it a little bit more safely than they played both of their game ones earlier today, and definitely a lot slower than we saw Serenity get to play against the Astrocats.
Yeah, maybe something will become more common for these teams as they kind of feel out the field, maybe get some of the jitters out, and you know, kind of get more comfortable with how the team is supposed to play. It's because again, the expectation is that even though it's a short amount of time, you'll do a lot of growing and a lot of improving as a player in a very short amount of time in this kind of environment, which is, you know, a big part of why we're hosting this here. Is bottom side of his hook landing on to Shirley, taking some damage, but not enough left in the tank to maybe get a kill, and Shirley's going to bounce back towards Ryle and be a-okay.
A-okay down here in the bot lane. Ryle trying her best to set up a freeze. She knows that they do not want to be pushing out any further than they have to, so as long as she can keep the wave right here and hopefully use those relic procs on Shirley as best as possible, then they should be able to play it as safe as they can until that coal is fully stacked and Ryle has a couple of items under her belt. We haven't got a whole lot of chances to talk about top lane here, but it is that Ornn versus Redacted matchup. They're both going to be the engaged tanks later, but not right now. Ryle does not have that flash, does have the cleanse though, and it's not going to be enough to make it out alive. Shirley as well, just stuck and left to the wolves. It's a double kill picked up for Yumichi as well as that first blood.
Nicely done. Very persistent out of Serenity, but they call the jungler down once again. Heloisia sets it up on the Nautilus, and that is 2 kills exactly where you want him. Yumichi's Kai'Sa picks up both of them, and they're going to get the dragon off the back of it as well. But again, flash in, cleanses used perhaps a little late there out of Ryle, and then Yumichi flashes in, knows that this is the kill they want, even if they only get one. Condemn is not enough, and Shirley is left for dead in the front lines, and they donate all that gold over to the Kai'Sa.
That's going to be a very, very scary Kai'Sa already with the 150 shutdown on her head. I don't think it should be possible to have a 150 shutdown at 6 minutes in the game, but you know what? Whatever happens, happens. Whatever happens to Shapeshift as well also unfortunately happens. Forced flash over the wall there, but during the replay she did manage to pick up the first dragon of the game. That first Rift Herald of the game will be spawning up here in a little under a minute as well. I think we haven't really had a whole lot of set Rift Herald or dragon fights so far today. I would like to see some more.
That's fair. Definitely a very early dragon. I like this one here from Serenity, kind of making the run of play that makes sense. Then Miss Teemo, also with a good bit of aggression, is going to force the flash out of Ayakura, using that Ezreal very nicely placed to force the Silas under the tower and then immediately out by having to burn the Summoner. Big wave here in topside as well, as Aquatic has built this up, but there is no dive to come. In fact, Shapeshift's even in this area, just in case there was something that was going to happen. So Shy-Step should be more than fine just to clear these out and continue playing on the back foot a bit. I know you mentioned it before, you're very familiar with this matchup, and I feel like it's going about to script for the first 8 minutes.
Yeah, you know, you don't pick Ornn to win lane. Never really
Correct.
heard of anybody doing that. So you have the, what is that, Bramble completed, and that is about full build as you can really get on this type of champion. Miss Teemo is going to be flashed on, is going to flash of her own, flashes away, but not going to be in time. MP picking up their first kill of this game. Number 1 was a flash for flash trade, but the kill is definitely making it worth it.
Yeah, nicely done. I thought Miss Teemo actually out, and maybe she thought the same thing. Dodging an initial Silas chain, the slow barely connected, really good movement to get out from under the CC. And MP was like, you know what? I'm sick of this. Flash W, you can't sidestep this one. Easily sets up the kill there, and takes it for themselves as well, which is always nice to see. So gold's going to stay very close here, 500 up for Serenity, which, as we've learned from our series today, really isn't anything at all. And Miss Timo is going to be a little upset to be picked off like that, but can just chill. The cannon.
She missed the cannon.
Rip.
That's the game. GG. It's over.
Uh-oh.
Oh no,
Yumichi in a
Yumichi.
bit of
Oh,
trouble.
that's
Ryle
not
gonna get the
gonna be fun.
shutdown. Is it a double this time for the other bot lane? Oh my goodness, the ghost has popped, and indeed the double is there. Ryle and Shirley getting some revenge.
Man, somebody left Ryle alone a little too long on the spot lane. She started to say, guys, I want to fight. And then she fought, and then she got a double kill. That's just kind of what happens sometimes. Also important to note, she did have the Noon Quiver. Yeah, that's the item name. Completed.
Yeah, nailed it.
For the 2v2 there, and I don't think the Kraken Slayer was completed, but either way, Noon Quiver up on something definitely does turn a little bit better for the double kill onto Ryo. Now, both AD carries have themselves a double kill.
Definitely says something about like a player's character when they pick scaling ADs and cull and then do this. Although to be fair, this was more a counter engage than an engage, and this is actually somewhere where Ghost is really valuable on Vayne, right? You have extra move speed from Final Hour, you're already moving faster towards them, you just need to run them down and shoot them. I mean, Ghost Vayne, yes, Ghost can have some defensive utility, but you're much happier to use it when you're running forward at them, and that's exactly what Ra got to do there for the double killers. Mid lane,
Mid lane Ayukura just about able to step herself out to safety, and I just want to point out real quick again, we got to see it a little bit clearer in the replay. Shirley actually played a massive part in that 2v2. It's not only Ryle landing the auto attacks at the correct time, but Shirley with the perfect shield, with the perfect, I think E it is, right, where it's the dash and the little extra stats, whatever it is, that E, right? Shirley actually did really well in that 2v2 as well. Just wanted to quickly point that out. Nature's Grasp used as a disengage tool, nothing else of note there. Shy Sept, I mean, doing as perfect as you can on the Ornn top lane. She was told on Champion Select, you're going to be alone once again in the top lane, and she said, all right, put me on Ornn, and we'll see what I can do in 20 minutes.
yeah, she's definitely playing Ornn. This is about as Ornn as they come for Ornn games. And Aquatic is taking a little bit of advantage of that by actually proxying between the two towers right now. A little bit of dirty farming to try and make life a bit miserable. But I think, again, we'll just keep this isolation in top lane for quite a while, and Ornn will be Ornn later on. Shysept wants to be more impactful in the later stages of this game, and we'll see if Aquatic can translate that advantage to anything else, as Ayakura comes across a very important ultimate, stealing away the Nautilus Assault before Heloisia even has access to it. Feels bad, man.
It does, and that is going to be a very useful ult, actually, in the 1v1 if she opts to take it here against Miss Timo now. Definitely don't take it in the next few seconds, as Miss Timo's got a couple of friends around here to help her out, but absolutely now you do see friends coming out to help Ayukura as well. Couple of seconds remaining on Dragon number 2. It is a Hex Tech Drake, and Serenity is the first one to start it up.
Could be a fight here. Hook lands onto one at Shirley, eating a little too much damage. He's going to be killed there by Yumichi, and there's the Killer Instinct. Ayakura here with the ult, he pops it, but actually has to use it defensively, and the damage is just too much. And Shysept with the Flash E, the Rock Pillar gets the second kill, and Shapeshift gets the Dragon. Beautiful little sequence of play from Serenity.
Serenity, and I would say more specifically, Yumichi played that super well on the Kaisa. Getting the stacks onto Ayukura over the wall, and then being able to use the Killer Instinct to get over the wall and finish off the kill onto Ayukura is absolutely showing the Kaisa mechanics that she has. I'm struggling to find all the right words. I'm trying to give you praise, Yumichi.
Yumichi, Kaisa, good.
Yes.
We did it. That's all we need to take away for now. And certainly, that's where you want to be, Serenity. Looking to win this game. In fact, win their first game so far of the series, as it is Rift Tower in the top lane crashing. But there's a bit more of a problem perhaps here for Shysept. Does kill the Herald in a 1v2, but no commitment for the kill. I mean, it's a full health on. No flash, no ult, but I don't think you're really going to get too much there as Renekton and Maokai. So I do like them getting some extra gold, trying to get some tower taken down, get a bit of gold funneled into Aquatic, but well defended there by Shysept, as Miss Timo also kind of ramping up here on the Azir. As you pointed out, this is where Azir is going to feel quite a bit better in the matchup, as Ayakura lands a max range, but the double Azir ulti shuffles them both away, but Miss Timo gets jumped on by MP. A beautiful little drift around the horn there with the Azir. And now we're still going. Ayakura a little bit low, but they're just going to try and fight here, as everyone's going to have to disengage. No one had any gas left in the tank, and everyone walks away.
Oh, I mean, like, we just had a dance party. That was like a choreographed
Yeah.
dance routine that I just watched in the mid lane. Like, you know those TikToks where like it's doing like all the crazy combinations of summoner spells or whatever it is in a row, right? That's what that looked like right there. That looked choreographed. And obviously it's not, but it's so funny to watch the double Emperor's Divide, right? It's so funny to just see on the screen. We're gonna see that a lot this game. I think it's definitely gonna be one of the main ultimates. I'm assuming Ayukura will be picking up throughout the majority of this game. I think, yeah, no towers have actually fallen yet, but tower plates have fallen themselves. They're very small. Not even a gold. I'm not even gonna call it a gold lead. Serenity with like a 100 gold lead right now. It's not a gold lead. This is a dead even game right now, Pastry.
Yeah, anyone's game, absolutely. As again, eyes on Ryle, who's now got static shift and boots 2 done. Had the shift for a little while though, as they continue to try and get aggressive. Ayakuri going to be put to sleep, but the counter gank is there. Looks to be the play here. Shapeshifter trying to back away.
Meanwhile, here on the top side, Aquatic dropping that ult to do something to Shystep. I don't think kill is the right word, but doing something to Shystep. Maybe just trying to crash the wave is the original goal, but once again, 2 fights across the map, no actual kills to be picked up. Ayukura even survived through the sleep plus knockup. Very difficult to survive through that, and Ayukura just about able to manage to do it.
Yeah, if it's like Aquatic was writing like a sternly worded post-it note, you know? Trying to just kind of be like, hey, listen.
You took my
Watch
lunch
it.
today. How dare you?
Shyseft opens the fridge. Oh, what's this? Gets a message from Aquatic. We'll be alright though. And again, I mean, this is on gameplay. Just vibe out. Slowly the CS lead is closing as continues to pick up farm. Aquatic's less and less effective at trying to bully and trying to punish, and Shystep is level 11, ready for a fight if one would break out. Perhaps we'll look at this next dragon at 135 to maybe have some action really brewing, because it has been a bit slower here, and maybe to expectation in some ways as the teams, you know, get further along in the event, get more comfortable, able to recognize what limits they should and shouldn't be going, and maybe play with a little bit more restraint, a little bit more care and calculation, as it is going to be the Rift Herald here, started up by Arcana.
You know, I would love a t-shirt that says like Ornn gameplay with like a little sad Ornn face, and that's it. I think that would be a beautiful t-shirt. I'll wear it to the finals in LA.
It's you under your tower with 25 minions. That's on gameplay.
And a happy, that would be a happy Ornn. That's not a sad Ornn.
That's true. Under your tower with no plates, with like 3 plates gone and no minions. Just
yes,
sad.
Of course.
Yeah,
Second Rift Herald, actually both Rift Heralds this game were actually picked up by Arcana. They dropped that first one in the top lane to get some plates. This one may also be dropped top lane to actually secure that full turret, but I would prefer for it to be dropped actually in the mid or bot lane to hopefully open up this map a little bit more. Ayukura just about able to dash away, doesn't know that there might be 4 people chasing after her right now, as the dragon is spawned up here in about 20 seconds.
Bit of a better idea now though, did see at least one, and I think suspected there was a few more given that dragon is spawning up. Ryle though, going to push out midway before that starts, is a little bit behind Yumichi as far as item power goes, because Kraken Slayer is pretty good, but it's not without items, and I think again, Arcana have shown that they're pretty willing to take fights. Whether they always should or not is something that they'll learn about themselves across the course of game changes, but TP in for all. We're going to get something happening here, Cam.
Something happening here. Double TP coming in. The dragon has just spawned as well. Everybody sitting around, take a quick note of any item power spikes you may be seeing at the bottom of your screen. Both of the mid lane outer turrets are still alive, and the Rift Herald is actually dropped in the bot lane. Flash shook the lanes from Pelusia, and that's onto the jungler as well. FP trying to run away as fast as they can, and with that, the Smite has run away for Arcana as well. This dragon is as good as Serenity's unless Ayukura has anything to say about that, and nope, don't think you really can have anything to say as Rift Herald crashes on the bot lane tower of Serenity, but meanwhile Serenity has 3-0 on the Dragons.
Yeah, Dragon's looking good, scaling up very quickly. The first one got taken very early, as I may remind you, as Everfrost popped there trying to get something happening here in the 1v3. That is not a teammate there for Ayakura, who has to use the stolen Nautilus ulti to disengage.
As well as her flash there, just making sure she can get out of that one alive. Aquatic actually committing the TP to the top side here. Looking for some sort of tower pressure. I don't think she just took that outer turret. I think that tower was already gone. I could be wrong, but either way, knock on the doors on those inner turrets for the first time here for Arcana.
Yumichi scaling up. Dragon certainly looking good. I feel like at this point, Serenity can kind of chill out for a little bit. The gold is even, but they're the one with all the dragons. So just wait till the next team fight at 4 minutes. Try and get as strong as you can, and then send on down, click the button, and I don't know, throw your abilities at the enemy. As long as Serenity have set things up nicely, it should be a straightforward angle for them to look to take this soul. And even though the gold again is close, that will get you very far ahead as far as stats go. That is stats your enemy cannot get. You will have forever. And Infernal Dragon, Infernal Soul, universally loved, I would feel like. It's the one that everyone's always happy to have.
And there's no, like, runaway 10-0 member on either of these teams, right? This has been a very even game where there's barely been kills even in the first 20 minutes, right? Where any team fight win from this point is going to be a full team effort. It's not like Ryle is sitting here 10-0 on a Yasuo or anything like that. In fact, both of these 80 carries are basically dead even in items and gold and power spikes, everything similar enough to like that. We have 15 seconds on the Baron. We may see a Baron before the Dragon Soul actually comes online. I think that might be a solid play for Arcana, as they know they do not want to be forced to fight on that 3-minute timer for the Dragon.
We'll have to see, though, because it's Serenity that currently have control of the area. Getting some vision down here. Ryle with 2 items, but Yumichi can't be far away on the Kai'Sa either. And it was a good call. Baron is the start, but it is going to be Serenity, the ones that had control of the area, kicking things off here.
Serenity's starting the Baron, but I don't think they want to actually start a fight for the Baron quite yet. Control Ward just missing the bush. I don't know if it was meant to miss the bush, but it's very sad that it missed the bush.
F's in chat for that control ward.
So sad.
So sad. It looks like just a back and forth here. Like you said, this is a game that has not had nearly as many kills as the ones we've seen so far. And typically, in lower kill games, you're going to get a lot of team fights. And basically, Arcana are going to be forced to team fight Serenity in about 2 minutes time, because you have to fight for the soul every time it's available. You can't really afford to give it away because it's too big of an advantage. And if you get one, you only get 1 dragon. You have to get 4 in a row to even get the benefit that Serenity will have a chance at multiple times in a row. So a tough spot perhaps, but I think both teams have been scaling up, powering up to this point in the game. There's been some back and forth here for different parts of the map, and there's some gold distributed, but for the most part, as reflected in the gold, very even between these two. So it's going to be all about team fight execution. I would say generally I'd rather be on the Ornn side of the team fight execution, because Ornn Nautilus team fights tend to be quite straightforward, but Arcana have plenty of tools to find a good team fight.
For sure, right? That Matrix Grasp buys a lot of time for the rest of the engage to land for Arcana, so both sides of the potential engage on the team fight here are quite strong, and I believe that's probably a significant factor as to why we really haven't gotten to see a real team fight quite yet in this game. We got 60 seconds left on that Dragon now. Definitely not enough time to start up a Baron or a Baron fight of any sort of that. We are going to be looking most likely towards the... Oh no. I was wrong. I was going to say looking towards the 80 carry and mid laners to be doing the damage here, as they are the ones that are sitting on probably the most gold for all the members of the team. Shapeshift has dropped a lot of HP because she started the Baron a little bit too early on her own. It's in about 25% of her HP, but you gotta watch bot side of the fight. There's Yumichi doing so much damage. Ryle ran away with just 1 HP. She is out of the fight, and so is the rest of Arcana. Quada gonna be taken down real quick by Yumichi. That is the 80 carry you are all gonna be worried about. MP taken out over the wall, the blue trinket into auto, into just decimation by Yumichi. That was 3 or 4 quick kills picked up by her, and then also the Baron, and then after that, it's going to be an Infernal Soul.
We said it was going to be about team fights. That is the team fight you want to win if you're on the side of Serenity here. Very, very well done around that Baron. I mean, we basically knew it was going to be a big objective fight. Finally found it around the Baron. Have access to the Infernal now as well. Ryle is out on the map, but Shysep knows I at least have to go ahead and play bodyguard here. MP will be back up, but going to have to get pretty quickly down here to try and stop this, and I don't know if you're really going to have that much time. We are going to commit the TP from Renekton as well and just see if we can get something done, but MP's so far away from this objective, and the damage is a little too high for you to try and get tested with this soul, so we're going to have to take the fight instead. But it's Heloisia finding that first hook. Aquatic is just going to be shredded to bits and is forced to flash away over the wall, and the Infernal Soul is not going to make the fight any easier, so instead Arcana just back away.
Arcana back away, knowing that they have lost the previous fight, and with that they lose 2 very important neutral objectives in a row. Baron plus Infernal Soul. Now we will have an Elder in 6 minutes. I think there's enough towers still remaining in this game that we will probably get to that Elder, in fact, in 6 minutes. I do not foresee the game ending really anytime soon. First outer turret, nope, actually second outer turret now claimed by Serenity with the help of that Baron buff. I'm assuming they will probably be able to transition that very easily at this point into the top lane.
Yeah, almost 4,000 gold ahead on the side of Serenity, but that's actually not that big a lead. You'd think a team that has had 4 dragons in a row and just got Baron would be a little bit further ahead, but again, the game was so even for the first 20, almost 25 minutes through this game that, yes, this is a good lead for Serenity. This is kind of their moment to step forward and continue to snowball the game, but there's always a team fight in these kind of games. There's always a chance to just win that one big 5v5, turn the game back around, and see where it goes. But for now, it is Serenity in full control. Nature's Grasp going to try and get it started on the other side for Arcana, and that is not a bad pinch, but Yumichi over the wall, a big knock up there with the Ornn, but here comes another Ornn ulti, the one you maybe forgot about there. The Sleeper's lining up, but Yumichi completely untouched in the backlines, and no one can get to this Kai'Sa, and that means almost everyone is going to die. It is just Ryle left alone, and I don't know if she's going to be under the tower safe for much longer.
Ryle left all on her own. No mana left to be able to continue fighting that team fight. And with that, I thought this game was going to go 6 minutes. I mean, if you could take them down underneath their second inner turret, then that might just be it. Claiming the entirety of the mid lane, the inhibitor will fall very quickly after, and you can get, what was that, 1 for 3? 1 for 4? That is about as best as you can hope for from Serenity.
Once again, peak on gameplay. Give up your life, team gets 4 kills. You managed to get an inhibitor, so that's kind of how it all unfolded once again. Again, I don't mind the angle here. They feel like they got the flank, but Yumichi's the one untouched, and as soon as enough CC happens, in fact, it's... Oh, I thought it was the W, but it wasn't. Yumichi just flies on in, and Kai'Sa is just untouched through this entire fight. There's like a lot of Ornn ultis, which is, you know, kind of confusing, but kind of fun. But at the end of the day, the enemy AD carry is shooting you, and your front line's living. Even though Ornn does die in this exchange, 1 for 4 is more than happy for this team. And Lilia grabbing the double, Yumichi grabbing the other 2, and very straightforward looking team fight that Arcana tried to start because they knew they have to do something, right? You can't keep the game, can't keep falling further and further behind. The gold lead's not gonna fall your way at this stage.
Definitely not. No, the game has definitely exploded, snowballed even, just a little bit too much out of Arcana's favor. This is a little bit different. Every game has been a little bit different from the last game. We haven't seen a very, very even game, and then like one team fight just blows up the entire game quite yet in the Game Changers. Last game, it was very much more back and forth, and now Serenity clearly with the upper hand here. 7,000 gold, 4-0 on these dragons. We do have 2.5 minutes left if we get that long in the game for the Elder fight, and at this point, Arcana needs to hold on long enough for that to be able to be a win condition.
I'm here with you. I'm still ready for the first Elder of Game Changers 2023. Haven't had it yet. So hopefully this is the game that gets us there. But
yes.
Serenity are looking like they want to end the game before that happens. Maybe not wanting to let an errant steal get in the way of what will be their first win so far of the tournament. As Yumichi's going in.
Michi's going in. Ryle is the target. Really nice block on the hook there from Heloisia, but Ryle is just going to be taken down. That is AD carry punishment from Serenity, and the rest of the team will quickly follow. Aquatic just trying to clear the wave on the top side. Not a whole lot you can really do at that point, as the rest of Serenity looking to close out this game. Aquatic trying to keep the Nexus alive for as long as she can, but in the end, the Nexus will go down, and Serenity picking up their first win here of Game Changers 2023.
Looking like the little break between series maybe revitalize this team, as every team now has at least one win in Game Changers, which, if I'll be honest, you kind of love to see it as far as the tournament goes. A very clean closeout on that game, I will say. Really close game, like, as you said, easily our slowest game so far of the tournament. Very, very close, like, as even as you can have a game of League for the first 20-ish minutes or so. And we said it was going to be about, you know, kind of who won the first big team fight. It just turned out that the first team fight was big enough that was basically enough to win.
Absolutely. And this is going to be like the perfect seeding like thing that we could have hoped for from the first day of Game Changers. You have Astrocat sitting 3-1 in first place. Both of these teams now sitting 1-2, tied for second, of course. And one of them is about to be 2-2, right? Yes, that's how the math works. One of them is about to be 2-2.
The math does check out.
And that is going to be second place, and then one will be 1-3 for your third place. There is not a better way that today could have ended if you're looking just in terms of standings.
Yep, our tournament organizers love when this happens because it makes it nice and easy to figure out what's happening.
Yes.
But remember, this is just the first week, and we're not even done with the first day either. So plenty of time for teams to learn, to adapt, and to pick up wins going through. But it is nice to see, again, all the teams picking up wins. Just generally a really good shot. I mean, almost a different team in some ways. Astrocats felt like in their series against Serenity, just got a lead and never let it go, and it felt like Serenity was kind of floundering. This game, very controlled, very clean. Yumichi especially kind of showing us why, like, no one gets to play Kaisa anymore. Because this is what happens. You just get Kaisa'd and then you lose.
You just get Kaisa, and then you win. Not lose. Then you win.
Yeah. If you get Kaisa, you win. If you get Kaisa'd, you lose.
Oh, okay. I missed the Kaisa. No, I get it now. But
it's okay.
Ryle, having a little bit harder of a time now than she did on, what was it, the Twitch. The Twitch so far is the only victory. We've had 3 very different champions from Ryle. I'm excited to see what she pulls out in her game number 4 for today.
Me too. I mean, Ryle, again, like a lot of our players played a different champion in every game so far. We've seen them on stream. So always a fun one to watch. I like the vein here. I think her piloting of the champion was also really nice, but a tough one, I think, given how things went. I mean, hard to analyze that game because I think there's so much that happened. And then we kind of just had the one fight, and then, that was the game. But I'm very curious what the teams are talking about kind of between games, as we will have game 2 coming up in just a moment. In that game, Arcana have picked blue, Serenity have picked red, which is kind of our general expectation for the day, at least, certainly maybe for the tournament, as blue side seems to be the side that's favored. Before we talk about game 2, though, and what changes we might think happen, as a reminder, what are we even doing here? This is Game Changers. This is a great initiative to showcase the talented players of marginalized genders and help them tell their story. Again, it's like we might have to find a different way for next weekend because they're going to hear it a lot this week. But it is, condensing an entire esports program into as small amount of space as we can. Everything from forming your teams to tryouts to applying to branding to management to coaching to scrims to tournament is about 3 months from July until the end of September. And it's been such a blast so far. I'm so happy to be part of this event.
For sure, the goals and everything have aligned so perfectly so far for the Game Changers, and we aren't just the people that get to bring you the information on what they have been doing so much behind the scenes. There are so many people, so many great people that have helped Game Changers get to where they are today from this year, right? Unfortunately, you only get to see our faces in front of you, but there are so many faces even sitting behind us right now, behind all the cameras. Obviously, like, not our physical cameras, but in our make-believe cameras that are making the stream even happen right in front of you.
Absolutely. As we do have a draft coming right up, it is game 2, nice and snappy. Arcana on the blue side picking this one after losing, losers do get side selection, and first side is a coin flip. So we've swapped our things over. We'll see what happens here. Again, one of the things I love about Arcana is I feel like they always mix it up in draft. So I never know what to expect, which is very exciting, especially as someone who's seen many games of League of Legends. And sometimes games start to feel a little bit homogenous, if I'm being honest. This is not that event, though. One of the coolest things about an event like this is that you get to see signature picks. You get to see players showcasing their talents. You get to see usually a pretty wide variety of things, whether they're specialists on the champion or just wanting to pick something with a little more flair, a little bit more fun. Unfortunately, one of the things I don't think we'll be seeing here, Cam, is Rel for Heloisia, because it has been banned once again as the first ban on blue side. Well, basically, the first ban that the enemy team has been used on Rel every single game against Serenity.
Yeah, it's not even like we're gonna mix it up. Maybe it's the second ban, maybe it's the third ban. Ooh, we're trying to hide the Rel. No, it's first ban on blue side basically every single game so far.
Message has been received.
Yes, and Akali has swiftly followed almost every single game here, I think, other than game 1 today as well. I'm very much expecting a Kai'Sa ban. Xayah has been banned off the table here as well. I think a Kai'Sa ban from both of these AD carries. I'm fully confident that Ryle is able to play Kai'Sa, and we just saw Yumichi have a fantastic game on Kai'Sa as well. She's just an S tier pick right now for anybody.
Yep. LeBlanc also being banned, been pretty consistent mid lane ban, as Ikiri is not going to get access to that one either this go around. And I do like where you're at with the Kai'Sa. If I had to guess, that's kind of Serenity's, like that's on Serenity to ban if they want to take it out of the game. So I'm not sure what Arcana want to go ahead and take away, but they've got plenty of things to choose from here. And I feel like we're softly settling into a little bit of the meta. Although Lilia, definitely not really a prominent meta pick, but certainly a champion that obviously Shapeshift likes to play. We did in fact see it last game, even though in the win that they got.
Shapeshift's general jungle pool, at least that we've seen so far, has mostly been those power farmers. We haven't gotten to see any of those like super gank heavy really from anybody, I guess, but there's been no like Lee Sin, there's no Elise. Like J4 is kind of a gank heavy jungler, but even then, like, it has been the power farmers, it has been the we're farming to level 6 and then being utility for our team type of junglers, and Shapeshift kind of embodies that, I think, for the Serenity squad here, as Jarvan has been banned away, which does leave Kai'Sa up for Arcana if they do want to be one here.
Can't imagine they don't take it. I think they're probably just talking about what the rest of the draft might look like. Whoa, that's not Kai'Sa. Never mind. I take it back. That's Jax. This is our first Jax appearance, actually. He's been banned in quite a few of the games.
I'm hoping that we're about to learn why he's been banned in the past few games. I've been like scratching my head, like nobody screams Jax player from their op.gg to me. I mean, he's definitely a comfort pick for both the top laners of Serenity and Arcana, but definitely not like this is a must ban or must pick every single game, as of course the Kai'Sa will in fact be picked again by Yumichi.
Yeah, definitely a bold move to give it over, but again, I feel like Ryle's confidence is unmatched. You win or lose, which is something I appreciate about any player of League of Legends. Maybe saying, you know what, we're fine. I can play into this champion. It's not a big deal. It won't be like the last game. And fortunately for Yumichi, fortunately for Arcana, last game was the Yumichi show in that mid game in those team fights, especially. And of course, Kaz Nautilus is maybe the best pairing for this champion.
Yeah.
Certainly one of the things that's become a standard combination for Kai'Sa.
I mean, as a Lulu player, I could make a Lulu best pairing for every single AD carry argument that there is. Now,
Fair.
I'm not going to bore you with my arguments here today, but yes, if you decide that Nautilus is the best champion with Kai'Sa, then I'll hold you to it. We'll see how well they are able to pull this one through. Once again in game number 2, as Sejuani will be the jungler of choice here once again for MP. They mentioned in their interview they're actually most comfortable playing these utility champions for the rest of their team. They're definitely, they much prefer to actually play this way, which is not something that a lot of team players actually have in their arsenal.
Oh, Ryle actually also going to be more on the utility side here. He does have the Ashe. Again, could be a flex, but is almost assuredly going to be the bot laner here in this draft. We actually saw a pretty effective Ashe in the last series that Arcana played. In fact, the last game before this one, the last one, I guess. It's too hard now. In the last game of the last series, Arcana did play against an Ashe that gave them quite a bit of trouble. So perhaps some inspiration there for Ryle, but definitely more utility focused. You said it already, sometimes they get put on Ashe duty. Maybe that's the rule. If you lose, you have to play Ashe. Maybe they will have an agreement.
That's the agreement of game changers. If you lose as an AD carry, the next game you're on Ashe duty. I am so sorry, Ryle. I'm sure this is your favorite champion that you've ever played in your life. Definitely a lot more fun than any other champion you've played today, for sure. As the Azir is locked in for Miss Tima. Once again, this is her favorite champion. She would play this champion every single game if the meta and the team comp allowed her to do so, as I'm sure she's having a lot more fun in her chair right now than Ryle is thinking about what they are about to be able to do on Summoner's Rift, as Milia will be banned fortunately once again.
I mean, I will say, this may very well be the time and the place to play Azir every possible game. Certainly
That's
looking
fair.
good so far. So Miss Timo maybe feeling good about the meta positioning. As Milia, as you mentioned, does get banned. Does pair nicely with the Ashe. Going to be taken out once again. Belveth continuing to see bans, I think specifically away from Shapeshift. This is, I think, the at least third Belveth ban we've seen today. Because I know that because I can remember 3 of them. And I think they may all been against Shapeshift in Phase 2. So feels like a champion that you don't really want to don't really want to put out there and get tested by. Bel'Veth's a very interesting, very different jungle champion.
Yes.
And if you don't know what's going on, you will get absolutely smoked by Bel'Veth if she gets ahead.
She can definitely clear faster than I think probably any other jungler in the game. I would put some money on that one, especially by Shapeshift, who does make literal jungle clearing guides on most of these champions.
There you go.
She knows how these champions clear better than most other people do in the jungle. So if there's one person that you would want playing the full clear junglers, Shapeshift is definitely that person that you would want. Rengar is going to be banned away once again from Shysept, who did play that top lane in game number 2 of today. So I'm expecting probably the jungler locked in here. Actually, no. I don't know. Jungler is my choice, I guess, for R4.
Okay, we'll have to see. Echo also banned. There is a champ in the pool of Ayakura. Also is a champion that maybe is going to be seeing a little bit more play. Echo has been a common counterpick in lots of different matchups. Not necessarily Azir, although kind of like Sylas, like you can apply the same logic where you have a good gap closer, and you can get on top of Azir and be annoying. You did ask for a ganking juggler, kind of, and that is what you're going to get here, Cam. That's Xin Zhao, pick for Shapeshift.
Xin Zhao is another one of those, like, kind of sneaky meta picks on the current patch 13.17, right? Where you pair him up with a really strong early game mid laner, I think. And Azir might not be that one, but level 6 Azir is still very, very strong, I think. So definitely a very difficult 2v2 to fight against if you are Arcana. That is typically like a... I classify ganking junglers as junglers who do a 3 camp into a gank. Xin Zhao, definitely one of those junglers. You don't need level 6 on this champion to get a good gank off. You absolutely do get better ganks with the level 6, but you don't absolutely need it on this type of champion.
No, you don't. As looks like Lux maybe going back to mid lane. Yeah, she will, because Renata's in the game. Sweet champion. Going to be paired up with the Ashe there. Plenty of harassment, some good long range. I mean, so much CC on the Arcana side. That's like the one big takeaway I'm getting. Everyone has some sort of like stun or root. As Vlad, a champion with no CC at all, is going to be the final pick here for Shysept in the top lane.
Vlad top.
I have not seen Vlad in so long. Yeah, it's Vlad top. We can
okay. I was so confused. Nope, that was not the pool that I saw for Shysept, or
Yep.
I don't think any player in the tournament I saw as Vladimir in the pool of. But you know what? Time to see it. We were talking before this stream as we were hoping to see some more of the unconventional picks that you don't get to see as much at this level of professional play, right? But Vladimir, definitely one of them. Vayne, definitely another one of them, right? Like these champions that are a lot more fun. Also, Yasuo 80 carry. Like Ryle is just picking all these champions that we love to see, we love to watch, and I bet she loves to play here as well. So Shysept also, that Rengar top and second game, can't forget about that one. Get a lot more fun picks here that the players are still very comfortable on at a high level.
Yeah, I'm again gonna have to I'm racking through my brain and I can't remember if I've ever seen Vlad versus Jax as a common matchup.
Can't say I have.
We'll get to learn together how that matchup potentially goes, but I could see where you might be happy with this champion. Vlad in general, like as long as you're farming and things are a-okay, the more levels and the more gold you get, levels especially, getting transfusion level 5's a big deal, big moment for you as a Vlad player. You just basically want to click Q as many times as possible, preferably on the enemy champion, but if not, you'll take a local minion. But Jax is just like such a good champion. I was gonna say a good split pusher, but the problem is I've seen Jax do like everything in a game of League of Legends this season. I've seen Jax win team fights with a big counter strike. I've seen Jax solo split push games to basically win them. I've seen Jax like team up with junglers for early ganks and get pressure. Like Jax is just one of those champions that I feel like can do just about everything right now. So maybe that's why I've been seeing so many bans. And to your point, maybe we'll get shown today by Arcana why Jax has been such a common ban so far this tournament.
I mean, historically, right, if you were talking exclusively theory on the champions, Jax is a split pusher. Like, that is what he was put in the game to do, is be a split pusher. But, I mean, similar to that of Ornn, he's an enchanter, he's a tank, he's an engage. Like, you could say all these different words as labels for champions like this, especially top laners, right? And they're just able to fit so many different niches. And when they do fit that many niches, you can be one of them very, very commonly, like we did see today, or they just get banned. Apparently, every single game when they get to a certain point. I am a little bit concerned, though, on the general, I think, lack of damage the Arcana squad actually has. They have a lot of burst damage, I think, but not a whole lot of actual DPS.
Yeah, Ash gonna have to have a lot of items and a lot of time to pepper enough auto attacks. I mean, Jax is also kind of the same thing. You attack people for long enough, you'll eventually kill them. But they do have lots of crowd control, lots of CC, lots of way to control the pace of the fights. And I think based on what Serenity are showing, they're gonna have to control the initial onslaught between Hemoplague, Nautilus, Azir, Xin, and Kai'Sa all diving in. As the reason I'm pacing myself is because for a brief moment, Cam, both of the teams were barreling 5v5 towards the bot lane.
One day, we've got 18 games before LA. I think at least one of those 18 games is going to be a bloodbath level 1. A full-on just run at each other, everybody loses their summoner spells type of level 1, right? That is what I'm hoping for. We've got 18 games to make it happen. This is game number 6 out of our 18 total games, so I am, like, doing that math correctly, right? It's 18 games.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I did it. But anyways, yes, so far, the only level 1s that have actually had something happen have all had Serenity in the game. So clearly, there's a coach over there. Serenity coach being Macris. Somebody's told them level 1 is important, and that might just be the person.
Certainly so. It has been kind of cool to see, like, coach influence, like, pretty clearly, like, lead out. Just watching the games, obviously coaches aren't here right now, like talking to the players. Like players have to do it all on their own in the game. That is one of the rules of League of Legends, this competitive League of Legends. But it is cool to see like what the players have been told, and clearly they're pretty good listeners. I would say, if we can notice these things just from watching their games as commentators.
Something that's definitely discussed during the program is the coachability of any given player, and that's taught both the players and the coaches, is how do you coach an uncoachable player, and how do you listen to a coach as a player, and that is a major part that the players and the coaches have to learn, not only through this program specifically, but in general if they do want to go pro in a game such as League of Legends. And it's definitely, like we've been saying all day today, excellent to see how receptive all of these players have been to all of their coaches.
Remember when you said Xin was a Genki jungler? Look at this.
Look at that. He did a 3k up into gank. That's crazy.
Oh, going for it again?
Oh.
Ooh.
How did she dodge that?
I was thinking the exact same thing. I don't know, but that was a very pretty looking sidestep by Ayakura.
Ayakura's got some faker feet on her, apparently.
Ooh, I love that. Nicely dodged. As 2v2 is going to resume. Looks like, I guess they maybe thought something else was happening. Maybe, no invade. I can see where MP is. Not sure why Yumichi and Heloisia were missing for a moment, but that's okay. We'll return back to our normal programming.
Everybody,
goodbye.
Take a look at this cheater. Appreciate the cheater from Aquatic. I am appreciating the cheater. Thank you.
Big wave. Time to go back. Hey, look, I didn't have to use TP.
Amazing, it's a cheater.
He's not actually cheating, for anyone wondering.
No. It's a name of a specific type of recall, and that is the specific type of recall.
Nicely implemented there. Does have a call for her troubles as well. So, again, I mean, kind of par for the course as far as the matchup goes. Of note, there is no call this time for Ryle. I think has had call every other game except this one as her starting item. But Doran's Blade this time, perhaps a bit more sensibly in this kind of matchup. And definitely double range versus, I mean, Nautilus. You are expecting to push your opponents in. And honestly, like, given how Ashe is as a champion, if you can't at least push your lower range 2v2 in, like, why are you even picking this champion, you know?
Very true. I mean, picking this champion, this is such a heavy utility bot lane between Ashe and Renata, right? Like, neither of these champions, you're really picking for damage. Can Ashe do damage in the later game? Yes, she can. But in the early game, you're not thinking, oh my goodness, I'm picking this Ashe that my AD carry does crazy damage at level 6. No, you're picking her because she can press E and R really well. And that's what you're going to need to set up for later in the game when I guess the Lux and the Jax are going to be the ones building for the true damage stats.
Once again, though, it does feel like a bit of a slower pace of play. We did have Shapeshift looking for the early gank, as you kind of want to do on a champion like Xin Zhao, which is kind of against her style as a jungler, but always nice to see playing for the champion you drafted strengths.
Yep.
But I do feel like maybe this matchup is the one where teams are a little bit more deliberate, a little bit more careful in how they want to approach the game. Maybe a bit more planning goes in. I do expect the objective priorities to change, because I feel like we ended up in the situation we ended up in last game because one team decided to grab all the dragons and the other team was kind of like, we'll see. Maybe wasn't had the timing quite right. I mean, I obviously weren't like trying to give them away, but the way the game played out, this is kind of what happened. As Serenity took a 6-minute dragon, and lo and behold, it's 5:45, and even without a kill or any attention, we're gonna take another dragon.
I mean, absolutely. If there's no reason not to take a dragon, why not take the dragon? You do have the bot prio at this very moment. Ryle and Shirley did just recall Ayukura, coming off a recall herself here as well. Flash over the wall. Alicia actually landing a perfect hook plus ignite straight on the Ayukura. Gonna be an easy pickup kill for them there. And be forced to flash over the wall as well. And just like that, it's a kill plus a dragon picked up very early on for Serenity.
It's funny. The same thing happened that happened last game. It just happened in a different order. Last time they got the kill and then got the dragon. This time Serenity get the dragon, get the kill, and then go back to get the dragon. So very impressive stuff. And again, a little tip of the hat to the coaches. Yumichi and Heloisia had the recall timing already there. Noon Quiver was purchased. They went back out on the map, basically caught Arcana in a recall that they weren't happy with, started the dragon because they knew they had the numbers to do so, and then unfortunately for them, Arcana still committed to the fight, get themselves killed as well. As you can see, this beautiful hook out of Heloisia, and then yeah, you just flash over and press all your buttons. It's pretty straightforward from there.
If I could put a circle on your screen like an LCS caster would, I would circle that ward right there. That is really single-handedly what allowed Heloisia to flash over the wall confidently enough to be able to do that and land the kill onto Ayukura. If that ward was not there, then obviously wouldn't have been a flash, wouldn't have been a kill, and probably wouldn't even have been a dragon, as it could have been a potential steal for MP. Now we do have, if we're going off last game, we're going to have a Herald in about 30 seconds here. Who's going to pick it up, I wonder?
Well, it is MP right now, is in the area of the Herald, as bot lane has decided to commit to the 2v2, and Shapeshift, as we know, is on this half of the map. Also seems like Ayukura is feeling pretty good in the 1v1 matchup, at least getting the push right now and opening up that potential space. Is MP going to go ahead and take that Scuttle Crab, make sure they can start the objective safely?
Really just, I mean, this is a very heavy scaling comp for both squads, right? We've seen very mirrored lanes and very mirrored team comps for both of the games of this best of two, and this game, the only real difference is the fact that Shapeshift is now playing a gank in jungle. That is the true difference between the game 1 and game 2, and the only difference that has actually played out because of that was that they got that first dragon instead. Now the first Rift Herald, again, I was kind of joking about it earlier, but MP is probably going to be the one that is able to pick that one up. Aquatic has had immaculate wave control so far in this game on the Jax. I mean, that's not a Jax thing. That's not a Jax being broken thing. That's just Aquatic knowing how to control these waves really well.
Ryle also letting him have it in the 1v2, gets the ulti onto Heloisia, and Yumichi is forced to turn around to actually fight. Oh, that flash was so sick! Ryle finding the 1v2 outplay and gets a solo kill for her troubles.
All right, Ryle, calm down. We see you. We also see you here in the mid lane for Ayukura. Emperor divided straight into her heart there, sent right back for the 1-for-1 trade cross map there. Ryle, I mean, you pick up a kill, you're going to pick up plenty of plates, especially on a high attack speed champion like the Ashe. Get 2 free plates. I think one of them was even solo for her as well.
I'm very happy to watch this play again.
Yes.
I mean, both 80s are level 6, but just harassing the champion and then basically baiting him at this point. I mean, Yumichi is like, I have to go. And unfortunately, there's no angle because the hook does not land because, as you said, that flash perfectly placed by Ryle. This also, by the way, really lovely bit of work out of Miss Timo.
Also
almost
having
a little bait there with the recall.
Yeah, also having a Shapeshift there at the right moment to know that, yes, we can in fact go through this otherwise slightly a risky play. Aquatic going for her own first 1v1 on the top side, but of course it is Vladimir. This champion has so much safety in the pool. I forget what lever it is. I think it's W, right?
It is W.
Yes. got it right. I haven't ever played Vladimir in my life. That was basically a complete guess.
Oh, nice. That's a good guess.
Let's go.
Sanguine Pool, I believe, is the name of that ability.
Okay.
I should know that. I played Vladimir since I started playing the game, which was quite a while ago.
Oh no.
So I should know that.
Yeah, but
Nice
so
to see,
many so many champions have had their ability names changed, probably since you first started playing.
Not Vladimir. They have, but not Vladimir, thankfully. He's still the same. Maybe that's why I like Vlad still. He hasn't changed. He'll change eventually. He's a cool champion, but... you can see the little interplay there. Obviously, kind of the pool and the Counter-Strike lining up as far as cooldowns go. So, you know, activates one, and Tricep force use the other, but easy to dodge. Also, nice little leap strike away by Jax in the top side there, because with the pumped up transfusion, with the blood at maximum, I think that's what the mechanic's called. I know that's how the mechanic works. Was potentially threatening a 1v1 if Vlad wanted to pull the trigger on the flash.
Aw.
But instead, his attention in bottom side as a CC doesn't quite connect in a way that is satisfying for Capcom.
All of those abilities were just like, you know, so close. Empty's dash, I think it was like, what, Shapeshift's Q or whatever it was, right? Like, all of them are so close. If any one of them connected, would have been a very different story on the bot side, but not going to be quite enough flash for Shyset. Okay. Okay, Shyset. First solo kill the top lane. I think we might have seen all day. I could be wrong on that.
I think you're right.
I don't think we've seen a solo kill top lane yet today. Shapeshift might be caught out a little bit too wrong here. Alosia does land a nice hook. Ryle's ult goes wide, TP coming in, but will it be a little bit too late? Renata ult lands on everybody, but not going to be quite enough in time. But the final spark is so much damage. Miss Teemo a little bit late to the party, but does have just enough damage to keep Shapeshift alive for long enough to maybe even look for a re-engage. But no, that is not the re-engage that you were really wanting. MP survives with 1 HP as well. Really clean double back there for a double kill for Ryle.
Yeah, that was impeccable spacing for Ryle there. That's I can see why their coach Summer likes his player so much. Just no matter the champion, the swagger that she plays with is very present in her gameplay. And even on a champion like Ashe, who we've been, you know, kind of accidentally maybe a little bit memeing on for some of this event. You know, it's all in good fun. We're all Ashe fans. It's all good. This is played beautifully here, although we're going to have to rewind back a little bit further here because it is actually Serenity starting things off pretty nicely here. Very easy ult there as flash forward for Yumichi. Make sure that Shirley goes down, even though Zing gets the kill. Big Lux damage on the other side. Now Yumichi is thinking, maybe I shouldn't have used that flash at the point that I did. And after that, okay, you know what? We've traded a couple kills. Let's see what happens. But Ryle kind of thinks there's a little bit more happening here. Shapeshift is going to be poked away. Miss Teemo wants to find the ult angle, and unfortunately, I don't get a chance to finish the beautiful sidestepping. Just know that it was great, and the dragon is going over to Serenity.
Man, if Ayakura was just a little bit closer in range to hit the E plus R, I think that is enough to actually outsmite the early smite. I could be wrong with that, but I'm pretty sure it is. It's just she was not comfortable enough to walk forward enough, or the E just wasn't off of cooldown, one or the other. Either way, it is now 2-0 on those dragons, and once again, first Cloud soul of the day, I'm pretty sure. I think we've actually seen... Have we seen every single soul today? I don't think we saw Chemtech, but I think we've seen every single other soul.
We have been spared from Chemtech.
Okay.
We have had Ocean, Mountain, Infernal, Hextech, and now Cloud. Yes, you are correct. The only one we've been... That is the most random thing for you to have noticed, but you are correct.
I remember very random things sometimes.
That is some that's some Camcom stats for you people.
Yes,
enjoy them. You don't get these anywhere else.
Fun fact, I remember almost every single person I've ever casted before.
Oh, that's cool.
I can remember players from 2.5 years ago that I casted in like a random Excellency game, and then I see them in a CLO match this year, and I'm like, oh, I remember that person. Now I'm playing against them in college.
That's cool. You should tell them that. That's like mental damage you can inflict in the match.
Hey, there's no way they remember me, but I'm like, oh yeah, you were that random Bard player I liked.
Well, if you compliment them, they might make your games worse if you have to play against them. Might fill them with too much confidence. Maybe that's the game plan. You just like, really overfill them with confidence, and then that's the perfect time for you to strike in your CLOL match. This bottom side, Ryle and Shirley here continuing the good work they've done. It's 1,000 gold up for Arcana, and it's about to be more as that second tower does pop. It's not the first one overall. That would be Shycep's lovely work in the top lane on this Vlad. But gold nonetheless for Arcana, going in the right direction, even though once again the gold lead is not too big this time around.
Yep, pretty much exactly what I was going to say. It's just, once again, a very slow growth for Arcana's overall gold here. I mean, both the Dragons being in the favor of Serenity, though, that was basically game deciding last game, right? Was the gold didn't matter at any point, really. The fact that it was even made it pretty much irrelevant for the entirety of the game 1 of this best of 2, and now the Dragons are all of a sudden having a lot more of a presence in this final best of 2 of the day. We will see another Rift Herald spawning here in, I believe, a minute or two. That could be a fight. I mean, again, I think we're yet to see an actual Rift Herald fight today. Hopefully we will see some next week.
Yeah, again, teams will have lots of chances to learn. Again, these are things that your coaches will tell you over and over again if they've noticed it consistently in your games. I will say, at least the Dragon situation for Serenity has been very well coached, as they are always on time. And Shysep and MP actually going to meet here, but there's a few more, which is part of the problem. MP now going to try and line it up. The stun's ready to go, but Shysep with a very intelligent flash before the stun could land. They trying to make sure Sejuani was out of range.
Absolutely, Shysep went for the deep ward without knowing where anybody was on Arcana, and just kind of did get caught out there a little bit, forced to flash away. Hello, Isia, making almost the same exact mistake here on the bot side. Will be caught out by the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, though. Will be trying to re-engage as well, landed the double knockup, but will not have enough HP to continue the fight. TP coming in from Shysep, but remember, she has no flash, but what they do have is quite enough damage. TP from Ayukura to try and just continue, or stop the fight even, not continue the fight. Q lands, and that is just enough disengage to make sure that only the supports are the ones to fall.
And, you know, some fun. There are a bunch of different cooldowns burnt to try and get more kills, but it is only 1 for 1. The good news is that Dragon is still up in a minute, so no one's going to lose a Dragon off the end of that fight. For Arcana, that means they get a second shot at stopping this. For Serenity, it means they get yet another jab at Soul Point here. So I think both teams wishing they got a little bit more out of the play, but instead they just got this. So much happens here, as you can see. TP down the bottom side. Oh, that's interesting. So there's a dive happening bottom. So Arcana's top laner TP'd bottom side, and then a fight broke out in mid that Arcana decided to fight. So there's a counter TP in mid lane now for the top laner of Serenity, and Ryle's like, what on earth do I do? I'm surrounded by champions. Get me out of here. Flashes back over the wall that they went over to try and stop the fight. Miss Timo looks to surf in and try and get a scoop. Doesn't grab it. MP's A-OK. And then, as you mentioned, Ayakura TP's in to save the day and make sure nobody else dies. A ton of resources invested for not a whole lot, but we got good news. We're going to do it again.
Yay! We didn't have enough fighting yet, Pastry. We need more fighting. And you know what? We've got another Dragon come up here in just 5 seconds. This is Cloud Soul Point for Serenity. Is Cloud Dragon super poor? No. Is Cloud Soul super poor? And apparently, yes. In this series, it is. Arcana might be caught on the wrong side of the rift here, as they are forced to just completely disengage. They've got Aquatic in the top lane right now with no TP to come and help them down here for the Dragon. And just like that, it's a steal or a nothing for Arcana. This will be Dragon number 3, pretty much, again, uncontested for Serenity. Unless there's a steal.
They have the Lux this time. Lines it up. Oh, she got it.
Never mind.
Ayakura steals away that Cloud Dragon. I was going to say, Aquatic being top lane is maybe a map mistake, let's say. But we'll have to hold that thought because there's an arrow in mid lane.
Our mid lane Renata ult immediately to follow it up as well. Even through the cleanse, it's just not going to be enough to keep Heloisia alive. And yeah, I mentioned it at the last Dragon. Lex E plus R, I was pretty sure was enough to outsmite any jungler at that point, and it still is. Ryle, though, not going to have enough berries to eat to keep herself alive. We're all hungry for dinner, but Ryle especially so.
Yeah, unfortunately, not enough honey fruit to keep her alive, as you mentioned, and that is a shutdown going over to one of the carries on Serenity. Miss Timo collecting that gold once again. I was going to say before, when Raya was 5-0, clearly put in another position for her to carry this game, even on a champion like Ashe. Unfortunately, no teammates around at that point, a little too far forward after that last little play that ended up with the Dragon Steal, and unfortunately gets picked off and gives gold over to Serenity. And with that, the gold is still very even. We're 1,000 gold between these two teams again at 20 minutes. I almost feel like we've played the same game, which we obviously haven't because there's a completely different draft for both teams. But even though there's been some great moments and picks here, and there's actually, I think, more than twice as many kills this game than there was in the last one.
Literally exactly twice as many.
Wow. Love that fun fact. As
Last time
Shicep
it was
diving on in.
4-3, now it's 7-6.
Look at us go! But again, the evenness of the goal just means I think we're going to be back for another fight. And I guess the question then becomes, what did Arcana learn in the 5 minutes that they got to talk to their coaches between this game 1 and game 2 and playing that first game out? Because they do not want that game to go like the last one did.
Absolutely, and if you are just joining us, game 1 of this best of 2 did look very similar to where it currently is sitting. And Serenity was the one that did end up winning the game 1 of this best of 2. They're looking for the 2-0. They're looking to claim second place after game 1. But Arcana is doing the same exact thing. Either team will claim second place if they do win this 6th game of today.
Key difference certainly is the dragon distribution. It was all dragons all the time for Serenity in the last game, having 3 at this point. Having 1 to kind of give away, if you want to put it that way, by stealing the 3rd, Ayakura managed to grab on the Lux, does change the decisions you get to make, and it does feel like Aquatic is committed to staying in the side lane for quite a while. Does have the teleport this time if something wants to break out, and right now the teams are actually jostling around Baron more than anything else. Of course, there's not a dragon up for 2 minutes, so that makes sense, and got to be careful with this Lux binding in transition, but mid outer tower there to keep him safe, but not going to keep Heloisia safe. Again, the Nautilus, such an easy target, and Ryle finds the arrow and even gets the kill.
Really nice pick there by Arcana. Just all of these teams today have shown how good they are at punishing the micro mistakes that everybody makes, right? Nobody is perfect. Everybody makes micro mistakes. It's just whether or not you are able to punish those enough. And just like that, Shicep may just be picked out once again. She does have flash available and will be committing that over the wall, but Ryle will fall straight into the waiting arms of not only Shicep, but also Shapeshift. But the rest of Arcana is here to make sure that they are able to keep themselves alive. Even Killer Instinct over the wall, but they've got just enough healing to almost make it out alive. But here comes the Jax. This is why he was banned. He's able to trade out 1-for-1, but you gotta watch out in the Baron pit as well.
What is happening?
Ends up dying to the Baron, I believe, doing more damage to her than either of the champions actually were, and just like that, it's 2 for 3, but nobody's actually able to finish the Baron.
That was a wild exchange. Let me tell you, the one champion I did not expect to go flying over the wall was the Ashe. But, as I'm sure we'll see in just a moment, that is exactly what happened. Okay, so I love this start. I mean, Vlad is so tricky to pin down, but Shicep's out of position, so Arcana are trying to find a way to lock it down. They do get it, but it does cost the AD flash, and Ayakura is just dancing around here. Shicep goes down, but there's already reinforcements coming in. Killer Instinct's a pretty good ultimate. As Miss Timo, that's what happened. Caught in transition. The Sejuani just locking her under the Baron. Oh, and the stun as well. Nowhere to go. Baron adding
like
DPS.
The Baron finishes her off, I think. Oh, wait, no, never mind.
Ayakura, losing Singularity. Able to find the last bit of DPS needed, but again, I mean, Ryle is... Honestly, it's kind of funny watching Ryle play, because she feels like a player that should just play Kai'Sa every game with the way she plays. That was a Kai'Sa play that just happened on Ashe.
That is true. She thought, hey, where's my Killer Instinct? Never mind, I'm going to click the flash key instead. That was what just went through Ryle's head. I was about to be very excited because I was like, oh my gosh, pastry. It's about to all happen yet again, like literally 30 seconds later, but nope. We're going to take it slow. We do, once again, have that Cloud Soul Point on the map for Serenity. But for the first time in this series, really, they have not been on it the second that it spawned. Instead, Arcana are actually waiting in the wings, trying to get a pick and actually starting the dragon up for themselves. It is going to be Aquatic soloing that down all on her own. This will end up evening out the dragon scores 2-2, and now this game is as even as it could get. Shapeshift just barely gonna not be fast enough to steal that one away.
Thank you, observers, for the picture-in-picture. I was like, oh, this is fine. I can see where Shapeshift fit, but they don't know. And then I saw a blue trinket, I was like, oh no.
They don't
it's gonna be a tragedy.
They don't know.
Thankfully, Aquatic able to get herself out of the pit and get the dragon before any tragedy befell them, and is going to be 2-2 a dragons, which, if nothing else, is just going to keep our gaming kind of the state it is. We are going to get probably the longest game we've had so far of the event, given the pace we are on. We may get an Elder, Didn't get one last game, or maybe just did, but it didn't come out as the mid lane engage is going to be what happened. Big old takeover out of the Renata as Shapeshift does find Ryle on the wraparound, and it is just absolute chaos in the midst of this team set. Shysept is chasing down Shirley. Lux has got a double kills. They're fighting back on the other side, and Arcana actually going to find the right end of the fight despite not having her AD carry. Yumichi is dead as well, and Arcana come out on top 4-2.
3-2, 4-2. I don't know. I think it's 3-2. But anyway, it is in the favor
Oh, you're right. It is
of
3-2.
Arcana once again. And they won 2 fights in a row. And with that, they will finally be able to take a Baron in their hands. They've gotten the last 2 dragons and now a Baron to top it all off as well. This is definitely creating a little bit of a gold lead. It is still only 2,000. I think this Baron is going to be a true cementing factor in creating a true gold lead here for Arcana in the final game of the day. But there's only so much that you can really do to create gold leads when it is such an even game so far.
Yeah, thank you for the correction. I'll blame Nautilus's portrait. It looks a little too gray. I thought Lucia died again. I want to know what happens to Yumichi here, because I was watching the back end of this team fight. Cleanses out of the hostile takeover. Beautiful light binding out of Ayakura, and that's a beautiful snipe from this Luxia. Ayakura looking very good on this champion, looking very good in general. And from there, even though, there was a flank from the Vlad, getting 1 kill on the backside didn't matter. Your AD carry's dead and your front line is in your back line. That's not an easy team fight to win.
Absolutely not, no. And especially fighting it underneath the tower, right? You may have mentioned it, but that is just definitely probably the worst place to fight on Summoner's Rift is underneath the enemy's tower.
It's the most fun, though.
It is the most fun.
But it is the worst place.
It requires pretty much perfect comms, right? Like, nobody has perfect comms. This is, remember, day 1 of the tournament. We definitely do not have perfect comms on day 1 of the tournament. If you're going to be fighting 5v5 underneath the turret, it only makes it harder than it truly needs to be. We've got 2.5 minutes on now. Cloud Soul point for both teams here.
Getting close. Rabadon's Death Cup also done for Ayakura, by the way, and level 16 on this Lux. So people are going to get bursted very
They're going to get
majorly.
Sparked. They're going to get final spark.
Yes, you're going to get sparked. I mean, there are plenty of carries you can pick off here. Oh, goodness, Epi looking for the wraparound. Almost had it there, but Heloisia once again, perhaps in a bit of mortal danger. Nautilus once again goes down, this time for real, for real. They get the outer tower out of it as well as Miss Timo's looking for the flank. Doesn't find it.
We're for real, taking down the second inner turret here in the mid lane, and maybe just looking for a fight between the turrets, even between the bot and top. Miss Timo, Shrim shuffled away to her own safety, but Shysept in fact flashing over the wall, flashing past Ayakura's final spark, but just not quite enough damage. She managed to survive with just 1 HP. She does not have TP to get back into this fight. Shapeshift going in all on her own. Not quite a range to get another dash to re-engage the fight. So much just used to try and re-engage that fight. Everybody's sitting so low HP, but nobody actually finished off, and now we're missing a lot of those important cooldowns for the soul point fight here in about a minute.
Most of them, I think, will be back off by then, at least the spells, but you're right that summoners are going to be unavailable. 2-2 on dragons, so I guess 1 to give away. But this game's just ramping up further and further, and Shysept, I think, starting to demonstrate one of the reasons Vlad is such a powerful champion. When Vlad gets items, he's just filthy if he can find the right angles. And Shysept, she's been great, just running straight at carries, popping ulti on them, and then just being disruptive, being a nuisance. I mean, especially if you can combo it in with something like maybe Xin, Nautilus, or even something like Azir, it's very easy for you to pick people off. And if you find a key character, if you find the Lux or you find the Ashe, even though there's lots of control tools for Arcana, as you mentioned, there's not that much damage, and if the battle lines get broken, I think it's going to be very tricky to win. And even though you've got some front to back you can do for Serenity, I feel like all the good stuff is all the dive you have, right? The Xin, the Vladimir, and of course, my favorite diver, Kai'Sa.
Yes, Kai'Sa and Ashe are my favorite divers, as Ryle has shown us in this game.
Yeah, Ryle built different.
Ryle is simply built different on every single different champion she has pulled out today. For the first game, or the first day even, of Game Changers 2023, this is Dragon number 3 in a row now, going over to Arcana. First one was stolen, second one was almost contested and stolen. Third one is just simply uncontested. So many neutral objectives in a row, and team fights in a row even, going in the favor of the Arcana squad. They have now grown to about a 5,000 gold lead as well.
Yeah, actually reflected in that gold. That's a nice little lead for Arcana to have. Again, certainly in this kind of game especially, that we are expecting to go pretty late. Gonna be up to execution more than anything else, but Arcana definitely feeling comfy here. Once again, a great game for Ayakura, whose Lux has been stellar. Aquatic's been a thorn in the side of Serenity all game long on the Jax, about to hit level 16, just needs a few more minions for that to go. I don't think, I'm gonna guess based on the CS discrepancy, that Aquatic can actually fight the Vlad right now, and I don't think there's any like specific, there isn't any specific magic resist item to maybe make that 1v1 a little bit more tolerable. And even if you can 1v1 Vlad, he's gonna walk away as a champion, and you're not really gonna, you're gonna invest a lot of time and energy to get not a lot out of it. Very frustrating, Vladimir as a champion at times. So that does mean that Shysep, I think she has the advantage as far as the split pushing goes, but might not have to worry about that for too much longer, because both top laners, even though they have TP, are currently on the side of the map that is not being contested. Because Arcana want the Baron, and Miss Timo straight into the waiting arms of the ulti out of Sejuani. And now they're looking for Shapeshift, but the jungler should be safe here. Are we going to re-engage? I don't think so, but both TPs come through.
Shysep TPing in as well as Aquatic. That's both the top laners burning their TP for what turned out to be not a team fight whatsoever. And B looking for something on the backside here. Does land that knock on Yumi. She forced to immediately kill her instinct away, but the final spark is going to be more than enough to just take her out. Here comes Shysep on the bot side of fight, but you gotta watch out for the Vladimir damage as well as the healing, burning so much of everybody's health bars, but they're still just too healthy to take out. All of Serenity falls around Shysep, and just like that, it's a 5-for-4. It's almost a clean, perfect ace for Arcana at 31 minutes in this game.
They're looking for the end. They're going straight top, straight to the wave. They're going to look to try and barrel down everything in their path, including the enemy nexus. They found a way to beat the Vladimir. Just play around, Vlad. Just don't run into Shysep. She's too strong.
Just fight when Shysep is not there for like the 0.5 seconds that she is not there. She's coming to the backside, though. She's still got massive damage available to her. But once again, damage is just not enough to actually finish anybody off.
She had ulti. That would have been an absolute montage moment. Shysep keeping Serenity in the game. They lose the inhibitor in top lane. Baron is up and available now. Arcana have not been back to base for a very long time. I think you want to reset here because it seems so...
Yes.
It seems so bad not to spend your gold, but you don't really have time.
There's simply no time. We are here to fight and here to stay. Shysep, once again, the name of the day. She is in the Berserk and not going to be enough time for the W to come online. LCS next up on the waiting docket. 50 seconds sent back to their base. Miss Timo trying to buy as much time, but the flash forward of the stun as well from Aquatic, showing once again why this Jax has been banned. Shapeshift final member remaining, trying to take at least one down with the squad, but will not be able to do just that. 2 aces in a row for the team Arcana. That might just be the end of the day, the end of the game here.
Certainly is going to be the end of the game. Arcana find a lead and then find the last few fights they needed, despite the strong carries on the side of Serenity, navigating beautifully around the Kai'Sa, around the Vlad, to claim themselves a second Nexus on the day. 1-1 in both their series, as they'll take game number 2.
Arcana securing the second standing spot here after day number 1. Astro Cats once again number 1, and Serenity will be number 3, but by no means is this going to be remaining the same throughout the entirety of the tournament, right? Like, this was just day 1. We had 2 series go 1-1. Only one series was a 2-0, which means these teams are very, very close together in terms of skill, in terms of how much they've learned already, and hopefully in how much they can grow in the next couple of weeks before the LA trip and finals. Yeah,
I don't think we learned enough about where we're at team strength wise just yet, even though obviously one team has more points than the other based on the way their series went. I feel like in some ways it's just kind of a coincidence that our last series of the day ended up being our closest, because the players have now played the maximum amount of games basically, and have learnt plenty by watching the day unfold and interacting more with their teammates in this environment. But it is nice to see a series be so close, and I'm hoping that this is what more of our games look like, because we certainly had some one-sided affairs earlier on in the day, but both of these games, and I think the fact that ended up splitting is kind of fitting in that regard, ended up being extremely close back and forth affairs. Like, it was 1,000 gold at 20 minutes in both these two games, and it's not like they weren't trying to kill each other before 20 minutes.
Absolutely.
Game 1 maybe a little slower than we would have expected, but Game 2 was not slow, and it was still that close.
I think the fourth game for today is still going to be my favorite one. The back and forth, the truly back and forth of the 8K to 8K gold swing kind of game. That is definitely one for the mental books, is how I'm going to put that one. That shows the true mental fortitude that all of these players did get to showcase today. I personally really, really like this format, by the way. I love that it's best of twos, and I love that everybody has the same amount of games every single day, and we get to see how close in skill all of these teams are, but there's still a clear like first, second, third at the end of the day.
Yeah, also makes scheduling a lot easier, which is nice. I am a best of two defender. I know that might be an unpopular opinion.
I guess I am too.
But I'm glad this desk can appreciate the beauty of best of twos. And it's been 6 games through, and a great day so far. But we're not done just yet. We actually do have Ashley Kang standing by with yet another interview.
Hey guys, thank you Pastry and Ken for this row, and I'm joined by Shaisept, the top laner of Serenity, after the final game of day 1 of Game Changers. Hey Shaisept, thank you so much for joining me. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling good. Hello, thank you for having me. I'm like happy but also sad, like I couldn't finish the game. And it's just like a bitter happiness, but I love playing carry champion stuff, so like this was one of my favorite matchups.
Yeah, of course, because Serenity had like a really good tempo until the mid game, and you like even had succeeded in that tower dive during the lane phase. In which way do you think that Serenity wasn't able to snowball that initial lead into their favor?
I'm more of a self-sufficient top laner. I'm really shy. Like my name has shy in it. Like even though I don't look shy here, but in game, like I'm like, okay, ladies, ignore me. I got this, and like. It's also one of my weak points because like I don't communicate well enough. I'm the carry, and unfortunately Vladimir is like a really flash dependent champion, and their comp was good at countering Vladimir. Like Renata, it makes it so hard. And that like they had a couple other magic resist as well, and like that was some of my issues during the game. Even if my matchup went fine.
Yeah, you just mentioned that, you know, you like playing carry champions, and we did see you on champions like Vladimir and Rengar today. Why do you think that you have such a preference and proficiency on carry champions? Is it just like, hey, you know, is it related to your personality perhaps?
Probably, yeah. I don't know, I want player to play the champion, not champion to play the player, you know? When I play a champion, I want to see everybody, it's Shaisept, not the champion.
Okay.
Which is kind of ego, but that's who I am.
Yeah. And like you also like this is like your first day at the Game Changers 2023, but you also played with the other players on Serenity before. What can you tell me more about the current synergy within the team, and whether your previous experience having played with other Serenity players helped you?
I'm happy to have them on our team. I actually never played with them. But I played against them. Like I know how they play, and having them on my team is amazing.
Yeah.
And like I was close friends with, like Miss Timo. Like we never played competitive, but we were friends. There's definitely some synergy issues that we've been working on like the last 3 weeks, and like, but we play like a family. Like I love my team. Like even when we lose, our morals are up. Even when we win as a team. We lose as a team.
Yeah. It does sound like the Serenity has like a really good team atmosphere, but you also want to work on some team synergy stuff. What are some specific things that you want to work on? Could be like, you know, like comms things, or like, you know, everyone in the game, like everyone in the team looking the game in the same way, or read on the meta, etc.
Overall, like rotating to like wave crashes and etc. Like I never call jungle. Like that was an issue we had. Like some of the academy teams just stomped us because they kept diving me because I had no protection, and that's the weakness. If your top laner is too shy to ask out, that's not a good thing. That's a bad thing, and I need to work on it. And like other thing was like, I feel like we are too selfless that we are giving away opportunities because we always want to help each other no matter what. Like at core, like we blame ourselves. We don't blame our teammates, which is, I think, our biggest strength as a team compared to the other teams.
Is there any fun episodes as you got to get to know a lot of your Serenity teammates?
What do you mean by episodes?
Like fun episode as in, like, I didn't expect this player to have this kind of personality, or we got to, like, chat and I found out something about a player that I didn't know about before, or...
Wait, that's a hard question. Because
Ah,
I don't know right now.
uh-huh.
But I
Yeah.
love watching them improve. Especially our mid laner, she's smurfing it. Compared to day one and to today, I'm so proud of her.
Yeah.
And I believe by the time we get to LA, she's gonna smurf it even harder. Miss Timo.
Yeah. Like, what are your expectations of getting to play in LA in front of a big crowd and on a big stage and everything?
I wanna eat a lemon. Sorry, I had too much caffeine.
Yeah,
I
I
have my
saw your Twitter
friends. Go
I
ahead.
saw your, like, Twitter description that said, I like eating lemon. Can you tell me more about it? Because it sounds like a big part of your, like, personality.
It kind of is. Okay, the story is kind of dumb. So when I came to college from Turkey, also I'm
Yeah?
Turkish. I lived in Turkey for 18 years, and you know how freshman year is. Like, I love salad, right? And I was like, okay, I'm gonna make my salad much simpler. At first, I removed the tomatoes. Secondly, I removed the onions. There was only lettuce and lemon juice left. So I'm like, if I can make it even more lazy. So I removed the lettuce.
Yeah. If it's, like,
Also,
part of
I'm
your
sorry,
brain,
Yummy.
maybe... No, go for it. If it's, like, part of your brain, maybe, like, you can make a pledge. Like, if I win Game Changers, maybe I'll eat lemon on, like, the stage or something.
We'll win it. Don't worry. We'll try. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm like this. I have ADHD.
No,
But even I was happy today. You didn't ask me this question, but I want to mention it on stage if I got the
Yeah,
chance.
yeah, go for it.
My favorite
Yeah.
player is Darius. I love getting dull won by 3 people as like Renekton. So that was like, oh my god, this is karma.
Yeah.
Because my Darius always got dull won
Yeah.
back in the day.
Okay, my final question is, you mentioned Darius, you mentioned that you have, like, a very self-sufficient, aka, like, also, like, a really aggressive playstyle, and you like to play a lot of carry champions. A lot of people will be watching Game Changers. What kind of top laner or player would you like to be remembered at the end of the tournament? Like,
Brave?
people look at Shy Sept or Brave, yeah?
And humble.
Brave and humble. Oh, do you want to describe
Yeah, I like
it?
to take risks.
Hmm.
When it comes to win or losses, even the other teams, I don't necessarily see them as enemies. I don't see anybody superior than anybody else. At the core, we are all a team together. Or these 3 teams are one team, and it annoys me. Some players aren't like that, and when I want to win, I want to win as a team, not as Shaisa. Or lose.
Okay, we will. Or lose. we'll look.
That's
We'll
an
look
option
forward
too.
to. We'll look to more great performances from both you, Shaisept, and also from Serenity as a team. And thank you so much for the interview. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for having me too. And back to you guys, the caster desk.
Thank you, Ashley, and thank you, Shysep. What a great interview. All the interviews have been absolutely fantastic today. I will say
Absolutely.
it has been, at least for me, one of the highlights of the day. Really just wonderful to hear from all these players.
Oh my goodness. Pastry, we made it. I made it.
We did make it! That's it! We only had 6 games, and that's all we have. So unfortunately, we have no more League of Legends for you, but we do have a few things before we go, so don't go too far away. First things first, let's have a look at the standings. We did already get a bit of a spoiler alert from
I'm
old
sorry.
Cancom, who was doing math live on air, but it's okay. Astrocats up the top of the chart, so 3-1, winning almost all of their games today. Are in first, and then Arcana slotting in nicely at 2-2, and then Serenity, after taking that loss, unfortunately, sitting at 1-3, and of course, logically in third. And you can see even on the right there exactly how those series played out. Astrocats with the sweep, getting an extra point. That's how best of 2s work, if you're wondering, giving themselves that first place spot, at least for now. But next week, there are more games, Camcom. Don't forget. And there's plenty of
Absolutely.
opportunities to pick up more points. We'll have a look at the schedule for next Saturday. That is when we'll be back. It is more best of 2s, kicking things off with Arcana versus Serenity. Astrocats, are they going to play Arcana? And Serenity are going to play the Astrocats. Looking forward to all these games, honestly. Anything sticking out to you there?
I mean, everybody plays everybody, one time, right? So I think my favorite matchup of today was the second matchup. I'm gonna remind myself real quick. Arcana versus Astrocats. That is the second game once again for next week. So I'll be looking forward to that one again, seeing if we have any more back and forth 8K to 8K gold swings. I know it's not for the pro players, but it's so much fun to watch as a spectator to be like, oh my goodness, what is happening?
It's true. I mean, it's entertaining. At the end of the day, we are trying to do some entertainment, and those kind of games are certainly very entertaining. As you can see on your screen right now, please follow all the teams on Twitter. You can see their handles there at AstroCatsGC, at ArcanaGC, and at Serenity LCS. These are like things that the teams have really invested a lot of time into. They had some like mentors and consults. They've really thought about the thing. They didn't just be like, cats are cool, let's make our brand cats. That's like not part of it for the Astro Cats, but these are like things that these players and organizations are really trying to learn how to build for the people behind these teams, for their managers, for their coaches, for the players themselves. These are all important skills to learn. So if you want to interact with these teams, learn more about them, see what memes they might be posting in the interim for the tournament and beyond, please go ahead and follow them. I highly recommend their Twitter accounts. In fact, that's the first thing I'm going to do as soon as we hop off the podcast here. I'm going to go follow all these.
Absolutely. Fantastic day. I've had so much fun. This was my first time ever being on a tier 1 broadcast. I've never been on a tier 2 broadcast. I kind of skipped that.
Let's go.
This has been absolutely insane. So thank you so much, Pastry, for casting me, for everybody behind the scenes, for letting me be here. I've had so much fun, and I hope people have enjoyed me being here as well. I'm going to be here every single weekend. I'm so excited.
I mean, I've certainly enjoyed it. It's been great so far. Apart from getting to cast on the broadcast, what have been your takeaways from today? Any highs, any lows? Personally, I don't think there's been any lows. It's all highs today.
I'm actually gonna agree with you. I've really enjoyed all 3 interviews that we've had with Ashley and the players. I think those have been really insightful as well, because remember, these are not just champions and names that you're seeing on the screen. These are real people with real lives, and I love hearing all the stories that they have to bring to the table every day.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And I think that's a perfect note for us to end on. Thank you so much. If you've been watching, remember to tune in next Saturday. We have a month full of games here for Game Changers. But for now, I'm Pastry. That's Camcom. For everyone here at Riot, Cider, and Wisdom, we'll be signing off. But please, please, please come back next Saturday. We miss you already.